Hello everyone, welcome to the PIB analysis for 8th of July 2017 by me, Dr. Gaurav Garg. Yesterday was my birthday, so I was not able to bring it to you yesterday on time. I received thousands of messages, your blessings, so I hope you keep blessing me in the future also. If you want to prepare for UPSC, we have prepared a brilliant pen drive course which has 100% syllabus coverage in the form of videos. So amazing videos are prepared by me, Dr. Mahipal Singh Rathore, Bhumika Saini and Dr. Ravi Agrahari. So identify this person. She has been news of late and she has been quite in news for some time now. Can you identify her? Write her name in comments. So my today's essay is towards the end of the video. It's there. It's on India-China skirmish. It's more than a skirmish. It's a standoff. So my essay is regarding that. So do wait for it. But let me come to some very important news. First is from the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and PD, Public Distribution. And our minister for that is Ram Vilas Paswan of the Lok Janshakti Party. He is a part of the NDA. So first, most important news is that the government has decided to continue the same issue prices for food grains under the National Food Security Act till June 2018. So National Food Security Act was started by Congress in the year 2013, that is 5th July 2013, and this was to make sure that nobody in our country goes hungry. Now, till June 2018, we will have the same prices, issue prices, as we have been having since 2013 till June 2018. That was what was decided by the Minister for Consumer Affairs. And another very important thing is that if you are buying something online, the seller needs to mention the MRP and many other things on the products. Because a lot of times it has been seen online fraud. You order something else and the product that is visible is starkly different to the one that you receive. So all the things regarding the product need to be shown by the seller. So I'll elaborate both of these news in detail. This will apply from 1st of January 2018. So let me talk about the National Food Security Act. National Food Security Act was in 2013. It came into practice, came into effect 5th of July 2013, and then Modi Sarkar came in May 2014. Now by that time, only 11 states had implemented the National Food Security Act, and by November 2016, entire country has implemented the National Food Security Act. One reason was also that one was of course the noble cause behind it, that nobody should go hungry, but one of the other reason was that government started crying foul that states were scared that if they don't apply this, then poor people will see them as their enemy. Anyways, the issue prices are, you just have to pay 1 rupee per kg coarse grain, rupees 2 per kg for wheat, and rupees 3 per kg for rice. These are highly subsidized food grains, and this will also prevent food wastage, which used to happen through the public distribution system PDS. Almost 30% to 40% of our food used to get wasted from the PDS, public distribution system. And the same price will apply till June of 2018. Also, this National Food Security Act benefits 80 crore 55 lakh people in India. So you can see out of 134 crore population, 80.55 crore people are benefited by the scheme. Now, when this act came into being, it was decided by the government that for next 3 years they will not change the price. So it's time. 3 years have already been completed, and now we need to change the price. But the government said we will have these prices only: 1 rupee, 2 rupee, and 3 rupee. Another important decision was taken. For public distribution system, the licenses for opening the public distribution center, there will be reservation in that. So the state government requested the ministry that SC/ST groups should also get the reservation. And that is why the reservation will apply to the grant of the PDS licenses also. You can apply if you want to get a PDS license. Next. Some very important decisions have been taken. Number 1, there is no dual MRP. This is the most important. See, if you buy a Bisleri bottle, okay, the mineral water bottle, you pay 20 rupees in a normal shop, okay. You go to a cinema hall in PVR, you will pay 50 rupees for the same. Similarly, Coca-Cola, you will pay 20 rupees somewhere else. You go to a hotel, you will pay 50 rupees for the same bottle. And go to a cinema hall, you will pay 100 rupees for that. So this will not happen now, because there cannot be dual MRP. This is very important. So the same MRP will apply everywhere. This was one of the most important decisions. Another very important decision was that Now after GST, some things have become costly, some things have become cheaper, right? So the manufacturers, they need to inform the users about the prices, fall in prices because of GST within 3 months, number one. So the government has allowed 3 months, that is from 1st of July 2017 to 30th of September 2017, the unsold stock manufactured, whatever is unsold, you need to change the price, MRP. It is packed or if it is imported, it is unsold, unsold packed, unsold imported or unsold stock manufactured, the MRP will be changed within next 3 months. And Ram Vilas Paswan, he was very strict. He said, if you don't give the benefit of the GST to consumer, you might face jail. And he also said that the lower MRP, which is the revised MRP, it should not be put over the existing MRP. That is, for example, let's say this is a bottle, and here it was written 15 rupees. That was the previous one. Now here you can't put a sticker over that and write 12. The product will have the previous MRP also and new MRP also. It will not hide the previous MRP. It shall not cover the MRP declaration made by the manufacturer or the packer. Next, as I said, there is no dual MRP now. Okay, no person shall declare different MRP. Okay, unless it is allowed under any law, and some exceptions are there. Also, if you are selling online, then what you have to show? Everything that you show offline. Okay, for example, the name, address of the manufacturer, packer, importer, name of the commodity, net content, how much kg or gram, retail sale price, consumer care complaint, dimension, everything you have to show. Okay, this is incumbent, this is mandatory now for the e-commerce platforms. This is to prevent online fraud. And also the font size has to be proper, it has to increase so that whatever is written has to be understood, the handwriting should be readable, it should be legible. And the prices, you know, they cannot be fixed as per the paying capacity of the consumer. Like for example, it was seen in the stents and valves, cardiac stent. If you go to a Sarkari hospital, the stents and valves, heart, which are put in heart, their prices are low. If you go to a big hospital, then the prices are more. So prices cannot vary according to the paying capacity of the consumer. It has to be fixed. Now for that, what did they do? They changed Packaged Commodity Rules 2011 and they merged them with the FSSAI, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. And 3 declarations are absolutely compulsory: MRP, net quantity and consumer care details. Very, very important. These, except these 3 declarations are, required under the legal metrology. All the rules have been merged. That is, legal metrology rules have been merged with the FSSAI. They have been aligned according to the declarations of the FSSAI. Now, another important thing. No person shall declare different MRP on the identical pre-packaged commodity. For example, let's say you have bought a laptop and on the laptop box there is a MRP. Now, you cannot change the MRP. It will be an offense. Anything that is pre-packaged, you cannot change the MRP. And this is as per the Consumer Protection Act of 1986. Then some other important announcements. As I said, the sticker mentioning the revised price, it will not overwrite the original MRP. And now you will ask me one thing. See, some products have become cheaper, all right. For that, the manufacturers will revise. What about if some products become costlier because of GST? Because you know that some products will become costlier also. For that, all the companies which manufacture that product, they have to give at least 2 advertisements in some of the leading newspapers. Minimum 2 advertisements. That is the condition. Now, some other news. Northeast India, which is a very important part of India, 7 sisters, So Assam, starting from Assam, ending in Arunachal, like that you can say. And for that, development of Northeast region, we have a separate cabinet that is called Development of Northeastern Region, DONER. This is called Ministry of DONER. And the minister for that is Dr. Jitendra Singh. He is in charge also of the Ministry of State PM Office, Personnel, Public Grievances, Pension, Atomic Energy and Space. He said that the government has taken a lot of steps for the development of the Northeast youth. And this meeting was organized by the CII, which is the Confederation of Indian Industry. What will happen? Now look, please note that a lot of people from Northeast, they have been in news recently. You talk about Mary Kom, you talk about Deepa Karmakar, you talk about Irom Sharmila, you talk about Sarbanand Sonowal, you talk about, this Pema Khandu guy. So lot of people have been in news and questions can come up because of that. Now, lot of important athletes, especially football players from Northeast, they are making waves, and there will be a state-of-the-art sports university that will come up in Manipur. Now, so remember Manipur, and Ministry of Development of Northeastern region has also come out with the idea of a venture fund. If any youth wants to start up his own business, entrepreneurship from Northeast, he will get financial assistance from the government. He also said that there is very poor coaching available in Northeast, no civil services coaching. Therefore, via satellite and via tele-education, we will give them the civil service examination coaching also. And he gave the example of Deepa Karmakar. So the great Deepa Karmakar, and she came fourth in Olympic. She missed the bronze medal by a whisker, but Deepa Karmakar produced the Prodeo Nova jump, which is in fact life-threatening, but she did it for her country, and she has made India proud. So he gave her example. Next, he also said that we are improving the connectivity of the Northeast, and this is the most important part. You know, let's say this is India, okay, and this is the Northeast. So this is Bangladesh, okay. So the entire Northeast is connected by this small thing. It's like this, okay. This is called chicken neck of India, right? So therefore, we need to improve the transport within the Northeast and we need to connect the Northeast with the rest of the India in a more robust manner. This will create job creation, employment. See, industries are not going in the Northeast. The reason for that is, one is that there are these insurgency groups, the Naga groups and all these insurgent groups. It is not safe. It is not considered safe, lot of areas. And second, poor connectivity is there. And away from the capital, away from Mumbai, financial capital. So a lot of reasons. Now, what they are trying to do is job creation and employment in the Northeast. And also he said that now there has been a significant increase in the tourists who are going to the Northeast because the travel agents and operators, tour operator are making them their priority. He also said that everything in the Northeast will come under the public-private partnership. Whatever the infrastructure projects are being touted for Northeast, they will come under PPP model. And they will also, whatever the money is collected through the CSR, corporate social responsibility, that is the companies they donate something to charity, and that is all CSR. So whatever the money is collected, that will help in the development of the remote areas of the Northeast. Now another important news, the Kharif crop sowing area in the India has crossed 404 lakh hectare area. What are Kharif crop? See, Kharif crop are the crop which grow in the summer season. Okay. So for example, you sow the seed in April and you harvest, you reap in somewhere around September. That is what you call the Kharif crop. What is Rabi crop? Rabi crop is the one that you cut on Holi. So you will sow the seeds in October. It will grow in the winter season, and then in March during Holi time you will cut the crop. So these are the important Kharif crops in India, and you can see here that most of the area for growing the Kharif crop, and the Kharif crop area has in fact increased. You can see last year it was 371.39 and this year it's been 404.27. This is the area in which Kharif crops were sown. So out of these, the most important is the coarse cereals and rice. But if you have to say one crop, because coarse cereals include lot of cereals, rice is the one. So the maximum Kharif crop sowing area is for rice. No crop comes close. Only cotton comes close. Cotton is 71.82. Cotton is grown in the Malwa plateau, that is the Madhya Pradesh, Deccan Trap, that is the Maharashtra area mostly, and Gujarat area, that is the Kathiawad plateau area. Also in Andhra Pradesh, cotton is there. Jute is mainly in your West Bengal, this side. Sugarcane in entire North India is there, mostly in UP and the surrounding area. Oil seeds, again, depends on which oil seed. See, anything that gives oil is not Kharif crop. Only some oil seeds like soybean is Kharif, groundnut, also called peanut, is Kharif, and castor seed. So then you have the rice and pulses. So these are the Kharif crops. Now the Rabi crops are what you will grow in October and you will cut it in the month of March. So wheat, barley, oat. Now you can see here one of the oil seed, which is mustard, is a Rabi crop. Then linseed, which is called alsi in Hindi, and you have the chana, which is the chickpea. Now what is the importance of the word chana or the chickpea? So the Hindi word for chickpea is chana, and chana word has been included by the Oxford Dictionary as an English word now. Okay, keep that in mind. Now there is a scheme for IPR awareness. What is IPR? Intellectual property rights. Okay. So for example, your house, it is your property, right? Your money, it is your property. Similarly, let's say you write a poem. Now it is your poem. That is, it is a creation of your own mind. So it is your intellectual property. So you have written a song. That is your intellectual property. Nobody can steal it from you. Otherwise, you can file a patent. You can file a copyright. So whatever is a creation of your mind comes under intellectual property. It can be a song. It can be a poem. It can be a novel, it can be anything. Okay. So the youth of the country, authors, artists, investor, professional, they all need to learn about the IPR because the knowledge about it, the awareness about it is very, very low. So for that, they have started a scheme which is called Creative India, Innovative India. I repeat, Creative India, Innovative India. Please note that this scheme has been started by the Department of CPAM, which is Cell for IPR Promotion and Management. Cell for IPR Promotion and Management, CPAM, and this comes under Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, which is called DIPP, and DIPP comes under Ministry of Commerce, headed by Nirmala Sitharaman. And for that, what they will do, 4,000 IPR awareness workshops and seminar will be conducted across the country. Now another thing, so opposition was crying foul that education has been made costly by GST, so nothing like that. So government said nothing like that. We have not made the education costly. In fact, education is exempt under the GST. Healthcare is also exempt under the GST. Only one or two things, that's all. So for example, preschool education exempt. Education which is a part of any curriculum exempted again. Education as part of any vocational education course again exempt. Similarly, school bags, they have rather become cheaper. And if you give education to any abandoned, orphaned or homeless children, physically, mentally abused prisoner or any person, senior citizen above 65 years of age, also exempt from GST. Now, midday meal scheme again exempted from GST. What you will pay taxes for then in education GST? So only the canteen and transport services again of only the private colleges, private schools, they will have to pay GST, but again earlier they were paying service tax for it. Now they will pay GST. So there has been no significant increase. Education is just like it was. Now another important thing. See, earlier the government employees were being paid according to the 6th Central Pay Commission. Okay, 6th Commission. Now they will be paid as per the 7th Commission. And this will apply from 1st of July 2017. But also please note that all the allowances, they will be applied from 1st of July 2017. All the allowances, not the pay commission, it was applied much before. Allowances. So you get a lot of allowances, like you get the dearness allowance, some get transport allowance, some get Siachen allowance, those who are posted as Siachen. I mean, there are n number of allowances. You don't need to remember everything, but you just need to remember one thing, that the 7th pay commission allowances will take effect from 1st of July, number one. Second, see, now the allowances have been increased. Overall, if you see, they have been increased. So they will put a load of almost 1450 crore rupees per annum. And the 7th pay, because of 7th pay, the government has taken a load of 29,300 crore. So overall, that is salary plus allowance, it will cost rupees 30,748 crore rupees to the exchequer. Keep that in mind. That's all you need to know. Now this is very important. See, this is what you call maize. Okay. Some call it corn, some call it makki, bhutta, makka, something like that. Anyways, so for that there is a first maize-based mega food park which is in Phagwara in district Kapurthala in Punjab. And our Minister for Food Processing Industry is Harsimrat Kaur Badal. Harsimrat Kaur Badal. She is the daughter-in-law of ex-Chief Minister of Punjab, Prakash Singh Badal, and she is the wife of Sukhbir Badal. Harsimrat Kaur Badal from the Shiromani Akali Dal Party, which is a part of NDA. And our Minister of State for Food Processing is Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti, who is a rather animated character. And so maize is an alternative to the wheat and rice. See, most of our staple diet in India depends upon wheat and rice. But in India, we don't have a culture of too much maize. If you go to United States and other European countries, maize is central to their food consumption. It's like a staple diet in most of the countries. But in India, if you see, then it is not as popular. It's a good source of protein, but more important than that is it consumes less water. And therefore, it will not deplete our ground resources. So she said that Kapurthala is a water scarce district and therefore getting the permission was very difficult to construct a maize food park. But then we were able to convince, because it consumes less water, it is a maize based mega food park. That is why we were able to get the permission and develop it. And it will promote crop diversification. That is, if farmers grow maize, if they are encouraged to grow maize, they can supplement their income. It will also conserve water. Now there is a new scheme that has been started, which is Kisan Sampada Yojana. Sampada means your wealth. So basically you want to increase the wealth of the farmer. How? So the farmer, the Kisan of India, will be encouraged to set up the big or small food processing unit. So what is food processing? So you get the raw food and you process it. For example, somebody has grown maize. Okay, so you take the maize and you basically remove the cover, you take the seeds out and you process the seeds and things like that. That is comes under food processing, and processed food has more value in the market. I'll give an example. The potato, which is costlier, potato or the Lay's chips that you eat? It is the chips, of course, because chips is a processed food and the potato is a raw food. So if the farmers, they set up food processing unit, then their income will be automatically increased, accelerated. Another thing, they will also get loans from our agriculture bank, which was set up in 1982, NABARD, and at affordable rate. This will also generate employment. 5,000 people and 25,000 farmers will be benefiting from the employment. Now let's come to our main, what you call cover story, should I say, or the main topic for today, that is the essay topic also. Now I will tell you what is going on between India and China for the past few years, and what is China's strategy, and what does China want to do to contain India. So these are what you call the seven sisters, the seven states of India. Starts from Assam and then goes toward the easternmost state of India, which is Arunachal Pradesh. Now you can see here, this is Sikkim, right? See this blue colored thing is Sikkim here. So let's zoom it. This is Sikkim now, and you can see here, see, this is Bangladesh. The red one is Bangladesh. So this is all Bangladesh. So what remains is only this thing. Okay, it's like this kind of stretch of land, which is called the chicken neck of India. Wait, yeah, look here, it's very, very clear. So this is Sikkim, and look this thing, that's it. And see, this is Bhutan, this is Bangladesh, and these seven states, which are very, very important to us, which are an integral part of India, they are connected by this narrow strip of land only. So if China occupies this, all the seven states will lose in one go, right? So such a big risk. That is why they say that we need to improve our transport, our connectivity to the northeast. And let me tell you, this area is very heavily protected by the Border Security Force, by the Assam Rifles, by the CRPF, and Indo-Tibetan, like this area, the China, near to China, also by Indo-Tibetan Force. So this is a very, very sensitive area for India, because if this goes, we lose the connectivity to the seven eastern states. Now let me tell you what is the issue. Issue is this. It's very clear in this diagram. So this is India, this is Sikkim, this is Bhutan, our one of the closest friends, and which till very recently was our protectorate. Protectorate means that a country, we have given protection to it. See, Bhutan is a weak country. Okay, its population is only 7,50,000. 7,50,000, which is less than the population of South Delhi. Now, if you see Bhutan, then it's a happy country. I mean, on a lot of happiness indexes, it is always in the top part of it. So Bhutan does not have a very strong military, and it has a army which is called Royal Bhutanese Army that conducts military exercises with India, but it depends on India for protection. That is what the meaning of protectorate. Now they removed the word protectorate, but they replaced it with that India will be our guiding force for our foreign policy. Basically, it means the same, that India will come to protect us. Now what has happened? Now look, this is a triangle kind of thing. No, this is a triangle, right? So I will show you like this. This is the triangle. Okay, this is Bhutan, this is India, and this is China. So till here, this point is called Yatung. Now you can see here, this is Yatung, and so China is only till here now. Okay, and this part, now what China wants to do, it wants to build this road till this junction. This is called the tri-junction, where India, Bhutan and China meet. Okay, so they want to increase the road till here. Okay, but the problem is that now you will say that, okay, this is Chinese territory, no? So China can do whatever it wants? No, this is a disputed area. This is a disputed area. It's a part of the Dokkalam Plateau. Okay, so Dokkalam issue, that is the Dokkalam issue. Now what is the problem? Why India is so unhappy about it? India should be unhappy about it. I'll tell you why. Look here. So this is the tri-junction. China is still here. This is the Yatung, and it wants to complete the line till here. So now China is here. Okay, this important point, the junction between India, China and Bhutan. What will happen? China is very closer to the chicken neck of India. So China can easily deploy their military strength, military might and weapons and everything on this area, and suddenly India will be under a lot of stress, because India can anytime lose the 7 states in just one go. There is no connectivity to the 7 states whatsoever apart from the chicken neck of India. That is why India does not want China to extend from Yatung to the Tri Junction, and that is the standoff. So what China started on 16th of June, China started this construction. Okay, and Bhutan got to know it, of course, because it's a disputed area. Now Bhutan was a little hesitant. Bhutan is a weak country. It did not want to confront China. So Bhutan stayed quiet. On 28th of June, it was informed to India by the Bhutanese ambassador to India that look, China, this wrongdoing China is doing. In disputed area, it is building road and India is a threat directly. So Indian soldiers, they went here, they formed a human chain here, and there was no bullet fired. There was no exchange of gunfires, but they formed a human chain here and they confronted the Chinese construction workers and the Chinese soldiers who are part of the People Liberation Army of China. And there was a standoff between the two. They tried to push each other and shove at each other, and I mean all those things took place, but ultimately they were successful in impeding the construction. So this diagram is the best diagram that will show. This is Chumbi Valley, yes, the Yaktung area, and this is the Tri Junction. So China comes here, and suddenly from here to they come here and they cut off this thing, and we lose the Seven Sisters. Now this is the written part. Now you don't need to go through this. I will explain you everything. Okay. So I said there was a lot of pushing and shoving, and you know, like what happens in a manly confrontation. It took place, but this time it's a little different. See, these things happen. Okay. Indian soldiers, they also cross that side sometime, and Chinese soldiers, they also come this side, and it happens. In fact, in Congress time, S.M. Krishna, who was the foreign minister, said that when he was asked why Chinese they do the incursion in our area, they said we also do. I mean, that was quite unbecoming of a foreign minister, but still he said it. And it happens. But through mutual consultation, diplomatic ties, and I mean, we are able to resolve any situation. But this time it got a little worse, and I'll tell you why. So there were statements from China like, do not forget 62. So India lost the 62 war to Chinese. It's no more a hidden fact. And China said that India will teach a lesson to you, and I mean, China will teach a lesson to India, and if you don't withdraw, we will force you to withdraw. And there were all kinds of statements. But India also reciprocated. Our defense minister Arun Jaitley said this is not 1962. India of today, India of 2017 is not the India of 1962. So India, they confronted China directly. You know, they gave them back, and they did not bow down to the Chinese bullying. This was different this time, and that is the right approach, and I'll tell you why. So as I said, on June 16, China, I mean, they started, and see, there's one habit that China has. That is renaming regions. So it calls Arunachal. See, we have tension with China in two areas. Okay, one is Arunachal in Tawang area, which China calls its own. In fact, China calls the entire Arunachal their own. They say that Arunachal is South Tibet. Even Tibet is not their own, if you ask me. They annexed Tibet in 1950s, and after that they oppressed the people of Tibet. Why they controlled Tibet was because of the Mao Zedong policy. Because Mao Zedong, he had one main policy. That is, I will protect the territorial integrity of China, and therefore territory was very important to him. So he said China is a victim. China's land has been stolen by many countries, and what I will do is I will make sure that the territorial integrity of China is not compromised. And he started annexing areas, surrounding areas. He annexed Tibet, and Dalai Lama came to India with a lot of Tibetan refugees, and since then the problem is there. Now, so they renamed China as South Tibet. Not only that, in Arunachal, there are a lot of areas which China renamed, saying that it is their area. Similarly, they renamed Doklam Plateau also. They renamed it as Dong Long. So you rename something and you claim it your own, and then you play victim. That is China's policy. Now, China was very unhappy because of many reasons. For example, Dalai Lama, he visited Arunachal in Tawang despite a lot of warnings from China. China was unhappy. In fact, China was unhappy because President Pranab Mukherjee, he hosted Dalai Lama just last month. So he was unhappy. By the way, day before yesterday, Dalai Lama's birthday was there, which was celebrated with great respect across India. On 7th of July, Dalai Lama's birthday was there. So one reason of unhappiness is that. Second, Narendra Modi, he went to America. Narendra Modi visited 3 countries. No, first he went to Portugal, then he went to America, then he went to Netherlands. So America was not. So China was not happy. China wanted to basically cloud the India's successful Trump-Modi visit by these things. And recently, Modi visited Israel. China was again not happy. So China wants to put pressure on India. That is their strategy. And whenever such incursions take place, you remember earlier in Chinese army, Chinese People's Liberation of China army, PLA, they had intruded India as much as 19 kilometer. That is a huge intrusion. But again, through consultation and diplomatic ties and white flag meetings, and it was resolved. But again, this incursion was very, very significant. Now, China is also not happy because we are having good relations with USA now. So there are talks with USA. We are conducting military exercise with USA and Japan in the Indian Ocean. China is not happy. In fact, Malabar exercise, it is called Malabar exercise. It will start in very soon now. And China's all the enemies, we are having good talks now with Vietnam, with the Philippines. So India is engaging. India is trying to encircle China also. So these are some of the reasons. Now, Bhutan's ambassador told to India about the wrongdoing of China, and then there was finally, they acknowledged the involvement of a third party in the dispute, because now India stepped in. And Bhutan was initially insecure and apprehensive because of the, Chinese might, but again, India intervened and protected Bhutan. Now, there were all sorts of attacks from both sides. I told you, China said, learn from history, and you are clamoring for war, and it put on India that you are wanting war, you are warmongering. But India said that this is not 1962, and things got worse. And now see, there are these, the hypocrisy of China. So Nathula Pass has been closed since 1962 war. Okay, it was opened only in 2007. China, to put pressure on India, it blocked the Indian pilgrims who were going to the holy Kailash Mansarovar. Now see, Kailash Mansarovar is very important for Hindu, for Buddhists, for Jainis, and for some Tibetan people. It is very important because Mount Kailash is said to be the home of the Lord Shiva in Hinduism. Okay, it's very important. And the Mansarovar is also very important because a lot of important rivers, they take their origin from Mansarovar, like Satluj River, which comes to India, right? Then there is Indus River, which comes to India, then goes to Pakistan. Then there is Brahmaputra, which is called Tosangpo, which takes its origin from Kailash Mansarovar. So, lot of important rivers. It is a source of fresh water, and it finds its importance in Indian mythology. So, there was pressure put on India because they blocked the Indian pilgrims from access to the Mansarovar. And another very important thing is that they selectively blocked pilgrims, but not the trade with India. And this I will elaborate now. And how Narendra Modi has been completely unsuccessful in dealing with China. So, since Modi took over in 2014 May, one of the biggest failures of Modi government is the China policy. How? So, China has always pushed India to the wall. How? It has blocked India's entry to the nuclear supplier group. Okay. It has blocked India's entry to United Nations Security Council openly, not only in a furtive manner, openly. Okay. Not in a clandestine manner. Now, it is also not letting Syed Salahuddin to be declared an internationally recognized terrorist. So, what have we gained from China? China is building China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. It is using Pakistan as a pseudo-colony. It is inciting Pakistan. It provides them arms and ammunition. It provides them with very powerful planes. And so, China has, we have not been able to deal with China. Now, the most important failure of Modi, what is that? So, I'll tell you. See, when Modi took over in May 2014, our trade deficit with China was $25 billion. Which means, if you see the overall trade, for every $1 of export that we were doing to China, we were importing worth $2.5. This was what was happening during Congress. Trade deficit was $25 billion. Now what is happening is, trade deficit is $60 billion. Okay, it has more than doubled in the last 3 years. What does it mean? It means that for every $1 that India exports to China, we are importing worth $5 of goods. That is worth $60 billion, we are importing from China more. For a poor country like India, $60 billion we are giving to China just like that. And what do we get in return? We get NSG cold shoulder, UNSC cold shoulder, Syed Salahuddin, encouraging Pakistan to take a stand against India, sponsoring Pakistan's terrorism policy, and all anti-India activities. So this has been the biggest failure of Narendra Modi. Now, China, again, it has increased its stance, become more aggressive in the last 3 years. And after that, what happened is that when Indians confronted, yes, Chinese soldiers, they stopped construction for a while because India was not going back. India was not ready to dilute its stance. And even today, India has sent more military men and more, logistics supply to the Dokalam area, the Tri-Junction area. And China's great theorist Sun Tzu, he said there is a huge benefit if you follow the policy of deception. So China uses offense as defense. So again, China is pressurizing basically India, trying to scare India every time. And now, since we are becoming a strong economy, we are growing military, we are getting good help from Russia, Israel, Japan, US, we are not bowing under Chinese pressure. Now, Bhutan is a weak country. I told you 7,50,000 people stay there. And the defensive responsibility of China, of Bhutan, are Indian responsibility. So China has a small army, Bhutan army, and China's army is around 22 lakh, 2.2 million. India's is 1.3 million. But we can match them in almost everything. Even we have 50 to 100 nuclear warheads now, which are sufficient to contain China, to destroy entire China. And see, whenever the war takes place, it is strategic. So for example, we will try to destroy their dam. China has Three Gorges Dam, which is the largest dam in the world. And if we destroy Three Gorges Dam, then experts say that almost 1/7 to 1/6 of the China will wash away. So war is always strategic and it does not help any country. That is why the best practice right now for both the countries is to just calm down a little. China have achieved their aim. They have made this a huge issue. They have clouded Modi's achievements in the last few months. Now they can calm down. Now, Bhutan-India Friendship Treaty, I told you Bhutan was a protectorate of India, but now it is not protectorate. The word has been removed, protectorate, by Bhutan in 2007, Bhutan-India Friendship Treaty. But they said that our foreign policy will be guided by India. Now, what is the overall Chinese strategy? So, both China and India, they want to be strong in Asia. They want to be number one in Asia. So, there is a war, there is a tussle for the hegemony or the one-upmanship in Asia. Also, the Dalai Lama factor is important. Then China wants to gain control of India by encircling India on all the sides. This side, through western side through Pakistan, eastern sides through China. And it is not happy with Indian acts of friendship with US, with Japan, with Vietnam, lot of enemies of China. So it wants control of the Doklam Plateau. In fact, let me tell you something interesting here. And this is very important for you to understand. Now, you know that this area is now very important for China, because China, if gets control of this area, for example, if it is able to convince Bhutan that let me have this area, if Bhutan says, okay, you take this area, then India cannot do anything because it is with Bhutan's permission, no? Because this is a Bhutan-China disputed area. India has no business until Bhutan says it is not happy, right? So China offered that to Bhutan, that in the North Bhutan area, we will give you double the area of China, but you give us this area. But Bhutan said no, because for China, this area is more important than these, landscapes. So Bhutan was offered 2 times the area of the Doklam area, Chumbi Valley area, in the north side of Bhutan by China in exchange for this area. So this was also done by China. Now, what should be the Indian strategy? Indian strategy should be, it should not bow down. See, earlier also, I'll tell you, 1962, we lost the war with China. But in 1967, it is at the same tri-junction time, China tried to confront India, but they were pushed back. In fact, there were more casualties on the Chinese side than the Indian side in 1967. Then in 86 again, it was the Samdrong-Chu incident. Again, India did not bow down to the Chinese pressure. And now also India should not do, because if we bow down to China, China will occupy this, and then the demand for other places will come, for Sikkim area, for Darjeeling area. So it will not stop. So India should not give 1 inch to China. And India should not worry about military confrontation. No country can afford a war. This is the reality of today. See, why there has been no war, big scale war after the Second World War. There is a reason for that. Neither India nor China can afford a war. We too are the strongest economies in the world right now. And no country can afford a war. It's too costly for everyone. It will not help anyone. India is also above threshold. It can completely destroy China with the nuclear might, military might, navy might, and air force, everything. So this will just, situation is expected to become better, and the situation will get assuaged in the days to come. That is what you will see. So India must not back down at any cost. Now the essay for today. How will the Belt and Road Initiative advance China's interest? The One Belt, One Road. So this is One Belt, One Road. So basically, China does not have access to ocean. Only it has access to ocean on the eastern front. This South China Sea is this. So it has to go through this area, then Indian Ocean, then Strait of Malacca, and here. It's a long route. China is not connected to Central Asia, Europe. So China wants to gain access to that through the Belt and Road Initiative, which is a modern version of the maritime Silk Route that was there in the old days. So 6 economic corridors are planned. These are the 6 economic corridors which China is planning. Now, none is ready. Only one is a little ready, that is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So, they held the Belt and Road Forum, 28 countries participated. The leaders of 28 countries participated, including Putin. And India boycotted it. Bhutan also boycotted it. Bhutan and India are not a part of Belt and Road Forum. And this was in Beijing, May 14 and 15. Now, how it will benefit China? So China is planning to bring 65 countries on board. And these 65 countries, 440 crore people live in these countries, which is 62% of the global population. And these countries, their combined GDP is 23 trillion. And the total cost of building One Belt, One Road is 26 trillion. Out of that, China is ready to give $1 trillion of money in financial assistance. Now, how China is doing it and why China is doing the most important part. See, China is first of all targeting the poor countries which have a low HDI, low human development index, like Myanmar, Pakistan. China is doing a lot of investment in these countries. And the Chinese banks like Chinese Development Bank and Import and Export Bank of China. Now, you will ask me, how these are able to outbid other countries. For example, let's say there is an African country and somebody wants to, the government of that country wants to build a road or train project is there. So Chinese companies, Chinese banks, they bid, we will provide money for you to build this infrastructure. And Japan also does, India also does, but China is able to outbid them. Why? Because the Central Bank of China, it gives very, very easy and at a very low interest to these Chinese banks. For example, let me talk about Indian Bank. Let's say State Bank of India. Right, State Bank of India will borrow money from Reserve Bank of India at repo rate or bank rate depending on the duration, and that money is significant. That loan rate is significant, so it cannot go down. For example, if the repo rate is 7%, let's say, and so can State Bank of India give loan to a African company for 2%? No, it cannot, because it will be in huge loss, because it has to pay 7% to the RBI also. But the Central Bank of China, this loan, this 7% which is there in India, it is very, very less. Therefore, Chinese banks are able to give the loans to these developing countries at a very, very low interest rates. And that is how China outbids the other countries and gets these projects. Now, what happens because of that? For example, I'll give an example. In 2015, Indonesia wanted to build a high-speed rail project. And Japan is a world leader in high bullet trains and high-speed rails. But Japan did not get that project because it was outbid by the Chinese companies. So that is China how it plays with everyone. Now, I'll give another example. China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. China has made Pakistan like a pseudo-colony, neo-colony of China. It has invested so much in Pakistan that Pakistan cannot say no to anything now. So China told Pakistan to build Gwadar. It did build Gwadar, and Gwadar was Gwadar is now on lease with a Chinese company, Chinese Overseas Ports Holding Company, till 2059. So Pakistan has leased Gwadar to China. Now, why is China doing all this? Because if it gets economic hold of a country, it also automatically gets political hold of a country. And all of these countries are very corrupt. Pakistan, Sri Lanka, these are they rank very low in the Transparency International's corruption index. So it is easy to influence politicians. If you make a lot of investment, and also China is trying to put these countries into a debt trap. What is a debt trap? For example, if it gives African country $100 billion, now at some interest. Now this poor African country, China knows it will not be able to pay the interest. So for interest, it again has to take loan from China only, to pay that interest. So it's that country falls into a debt trap of China, and ultimately China is able to call the shots. So China has made huge investment in the Asian countries, African countries, Central Asian countries, and it is building ports, infrastructure projects. Also, because of this One Belt, One Road, China will be able to get a lot of projects because it will get connectivity. So its transport cost will become low. It will also be able to push renminbi, that is a currency yuan of China, as an international currency against dollar. That is the dream of Xi Jinping, the president of China. Also, China will win more infrastructure projects in these countries, that more trade with Asia and Europe. And some out of the box reason I will tell you. See, when the economic boom was there in China, it expanded its capacity building. That is, it expanded infrastructure building factory, hiring workers. Now there is an economic slowdown in China. So where will these workers go? Where will these factories go? So they will be used to build the infrastructure projects in other countries. And another important thing, I told you that these countries are very low on the corruption index. So if you see Turkmenistan, Central Asian country, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, very corrupt countries. All of these are very corrupt on the corruption index. So China will be able to politically make gains into these countries. Now, another important thing, Chinese companies, if they build infrastructure in these countries, they will also get a lot of, like people-to-people connect. So, they will try to, because China will be seen as a country which is building their infrastructure. So even the public of that country will have some inclination towards China. And the Strait of Malacca, the South China Sea. South China Sea is a troubled area for China, with Vietnam, Philippines, with some degree with Indonesia and these countries. And the East China Sea, there is a problem with Japan. So China wants to bypass these areas. It should not require East China Sea and South China Sea. And that is why China wants to have alternative options. Now, what will be the hurdles China will face? Some countries are not joining. In fact, 65 countries, only 28 attended the Belt and Road Forum. Now, also countries like India, which are very important, because see, CPEC passes through India's sovereign territory, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which passes through Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and India considered it as a sovereign territory. So it is a breach of rights of India. So India, Bhutan not participating. Then a lot of countries, they don't trust China and the motives of China. For example, Australia, it blocked 2 investment bids by China in 2016. In 2011, this was a big slap on the face of China, that the government of Myanmar, it halted the construction of Myitsone Dam, because it said that China's largest, it was China's largest investment project in Myanmar, again to make economic and political gains into Myanmar. But again, they stopped the Myitsone Dam construction. Then another considerations are there. For example, lot of things China has built, but it is not proving cost effective. For example, CPEC. Now, there are concerns in Pakistan. It is costing Pakistan more, because CPEC also passes through the FATA areas and these north areas of Peshawar and terrorist hit areas. So, it puts a lot of pressure on the Pakistan military, and a lot of money is wasted by Pakistan, and they are making less money than they are spending. So, there are concerns about CPEC. Then, in Kyrgyzstan, there was a Kara Balta oil refinery built by China, but it is working at only a 6% capacity. So there is a lot of expenditure, but no gains. Similarly, China built Xinjiang port in southern China, but again, and China built it as a trade hub, but again, it is unused and underused even after 5 years after completion. And as I said, this is Nathula Pass, and China blocked the pilgrimages, but it did not block the trade, because we have a deficit of $60 billion with China. So I hope you were able to understand the PIB of today. It was more analytical, and I'm sure you enjoy more the analytical than the factual part. So this will really help the UPSC aspirants. Thank you for watching.